Did a lot of good things tonight. Thought we were very good defensively. I think it's, somebody told me, the lowest point total by an opponent at State Farm Center. Colin Boswell continues to take the other team's really good players and make their life pretty challenging. He's done that 3 games in a row. But I thought Tommy, Ben, Merez, you know, they were tremendous in their help, in their support. They had a couple guys that we truly could just kind of muck up the game and clog the paint, and they do a good job with posting guards, and I thought we did an efficient job of taking that away, and really good job on the glass. But then we got offensively. I thought we had really good balance tonight, inside out. I thought we were efficient. I thought we got to our next actions, created opportunities. Again, I thought KJ and Kylan did a great job. Trey early of getting downhill. We talked about having some violent drives and getting downhill and playing off 2 feet. They're a team that had fouled a lot, but it was a good basketball team that we played tonight that had an off night, and I think we had something to do with that. But solid night.
Brett, as you mentioned, it seemed like there was an emphasis early to get to the paint off the bounce and play off of that. What can that open up for you guys, even if you end up taking the 3 at the end of the day?
That's what we want. That's what we haven't been doing. We've just been settling, and we call it our next actions. It's the action after the ball screen of seeing what the defense gave us and did to us. But you know, the floor is spaced. We've got shooters. You know, but they're a team that tries to block a lot of shots, and very similar to Alabama. We just did a much better job of executing, and we've spent more time on that. But you know, now it pays off with a lot of free throw attempts, and that's what we're trying to be.
And the former head coach Bruce Weber, he was in the house. What was it like to have him back? And do you have any memories of that 2005 team? I know you were a coach elsewhere, but you know, were you aware of what was going on in 2005?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was that was a very, very good team. And you know, Bruce was at a school that I know very well, where I played at Kansas State, and has done just an unbelievable job throughout his career at Southern, and you know, obviously a long time with Gene at Purdue. You know, the coaching profession's a pretty small profession, and it's a great network. And you know, Bruce is respected as one of the really good coaches in the history of college basketball. So, you know, now for the Big Ten to have him doing games in studio is you know, it's refreshing. It's good for Illinois, because he was here. But yeah, and you know, he's fun to talk to. He's got great wisdom and a lot of memories of things that went on in here. I didn't remind him about the 33-point game that happened here, but you know, I thought we were pretty good tonight with 34 points holding our opponent, but then I found out it wasn't the low point total. But I probably could have mentioned that on the air and had a little fun with him. But I'm sure that was a great game for the fans to watch.
Brad, the offense was sharp tonight. I just want to get your thoughts on just the intensity from the start.
You know, it's funny because I told our staff before the game I was a little worried. I thought we were a little flat, just kind of in the locker room. But again, I think that's where Kylan just gives us really good maturity, and I think, you know, Ben understands that. They know that team played Arkansas in the second half. They got down big early, they fought back and competed, and we talked a lot about how, you know, flat and just didn't play the right way against Maryland Eastern Shore. And you know, so we had a good day of practice, and it was just a mental thing. So I think you can obviously tell we were sharp. You can look at our free throw shooting, we were sharp, And, you know, that's a tribute to the leadership that we're starting to develop on this team.
Brett, you often talk about not getting screened. It seemed tonight they were much better at being able to navigate those ball screens, getting over the top of them, getting through those screens without getting caught. What's been how's that worked for them? What's the transition like for those guys?
Yeah, it's hard. It's one of the hardest things to do is to avoid getting screened. And you know, it's an anticipation, it's understanding and seeing the play, knowing what they're trying to accomplish. You know, and then having some physicality to you, you know, and it's again trying to force somebody into a hard two and not relaxing, knowing you can trust your teammate who's setting the screen, that if something happens, he's going to help you. So we've just gotten better at it, to be very honest. We emphasize it. It's who we are. You know, Kylan, KJ do a great job of it. Trey was really good tonight. The first screen of the game, he got screened and gave up one. And after that, he was really good, just physical. And it's different than most teams play, but it allows us to be good and efficient.
Coach KJ and Will both said that they don't really think of themselves as freshmen per se. I know Tomislav is technically a sophomore, but is this an atypical freshman class, or are they still working through freshman things to clean up?
They're still freshmen. You know, I think it's good they don't think of themselves that. You know, as we get into some of these games and schemes and scouting and the knowledge and understanding that other teams will have of us and what they will do, that some of that is new. It takes a little longer to learn things or grasp things, whereas when you're a veteran, you just, yeah, I've seen that. I know what to do. But they're very seasoned. They've all played a lot of elite level basketball. They've done it on world stages, and you know that's comforting. And they've all done it against really quality players. So there's no intimidation that, well, the guy I'm going against is projected as a first round draft pick. They see that every night they play or against other pros. So that part of it, I think they're all pretty comfortable with. But just the you know, the knowledge and understanding of the college game, there's still some growth there.
KJ talked about the focus going into the game being defense, and just to have like 11 steals out of the 14 turnovers you faced, is that I don't know, a typically high ratio?
For us, my goodness, that might be a season's worth. I think we're pretty close to last in steals in the country. It's not what we do. It just happens that we were handsy tonight, and I thought, again, it was a lot of credit to Ben and Tommy earlier and Merez for clogging the paint up, for being active with their hands. You know, Trey and Kylan both have really quick hands and the ability to get in there, and then, you know, Will's just long, so he gets his hands on quite a few, and KJ has been really active. I think he had 4 steals the other night. So, yeah, we're getting better at it. That's a high number for us, and I wouldn't expect that every night. But, you know, we'll take what they give us.
Brad, KJ, obviously, he set the table tonight, but I thought the last couple of games he's been more aggressive offensively. Is there anything that you've just seen from him in practice that kind of led up to this?
Yeah, he's been trying to do that. You know, KJ was a big scorer. You know, KJ, but I think the first few games that, you know, we saw in the first half at Alabama, you know, where he was aggressive and you know, the first few games he just kind of took what the defense gave us, and you know, it was hard hedges, it was just getting the ball out of your hands, and he kind of lost a rhythm of scoring, and you know, he was taking so few attempts, and you know, kind of threw him off. You know, he's a good shooter, and kind of just didn't find his rhythm here for a minute, and he's gotten that back in practice, and you know, that's the other piece. I mean, when he steps in and shoots it like that, to go with his size and strength, his ability to get downhill, his ability to draw fouls, and then spray it. You know, we have 12 assists tonight between he and Kylan, and that's a great number from that spot, from their ball handlers.
Brad, KJ gets his first tech, the bench almost seemed proud of him. Will says he doesn't show very much emotion. What do you think of that one?
Oh man, I want to hug him. I mean, you know, we're not encouraging those things, but you know, I think one of the guys said he's officially earned some street cred now. Yeah, he's very stoic. He doesn't say much. He doesn't get too emotional, but you know, I understand why they have to call it and do all that, but you know, that's one you just kind of, you know, glad to see he's got it in him.
Brad, you brought up Ben's mile time on Saturday on talking about the offensive pace. I guess, how did you assess the team's offensive pace today, and how does that carry forward into Arkansas?
You know, and I think it's one of those things where a lot of KJ's pace, you know, and it's not, what I'm trying to get is we don't want to play faster than we're capable of making decisions. But yet we have to understand, and it's the little things, like if the wings run really hard and get to the corners, that creates space. If they just jog and get to the free throw line, that puts a defender there. So it's just little things. And you know, we talked about before the game, get to the corners, they're gonna give you corner threes. I think we had 3 at half. And it's just a little thing that's really important. And I don't care what the play is, or KJ brings the ball up, or Kylan brings the ball up at a jog, you need to run. And so those are things that we're still working at getting better at. But I thought tonight we were better than we had been.
A couple minutes in, you subbed Trey out, but you had 4 and 2, and you were yelling at him that was big time. I'm curious what you're seeing out of him maybe in his last couple of games that excites you.
Well, the 11 rebounds the other night were terrific, but it was more his playing to second actions, creating the other opportunities for himself. He got out and ran, got a layup. You know, he was a handler once and got it all the way to the rim, and did it with great pace. You know, he doesn't have to be a guy that's in a lot of our actions. He wasn't, and I always go back to the Butler scrimmage. He was close to our leading scorer right there, and it was just cuts. It was shooting open shots. He missed a couple tonight, but it was, you know, his defense has gotten 100 times better. His rebounding, he's a very good offensive rebounder. You know, he can sneak his way to 10 or 12 points pretty easy, and I just, you know, feeling better with the way he's playing.
7 assists and only 1 turnover for Kylan, and this is a team that has turned people over. What'd you like about his facilitating?
It was just power. It was just strength. You know, it was just, you know, it wasn't just reckless and drive in there and jump off one leg. It was simple. You know, it's kind of the kiss there, you know, keep it, you know, just keeping the game simple, taking what it gives you, and getting fouled. I mean, he's a career 80% free throw shooter. We need him being fouled and putting stress on him, and not just with, and now you get that duo with KJ. That sets up what I think can be a really good perimeter shooting team for other opportunities. So really proud of him tonight. He was very dialed in to his violent drives and his great rim decision making.
So some high-low stuff with Tomislav and Morez. I don't know if that's by design or what, but what do you think of them together on the court at the same time, and how do they kind of complement each other?
Well, I think the one thing we knew tonight is they were going to double us with their 4-man. We're getting ready to see that against Northwestern in a league game, and so we needed to find out how Tommy would handle double teams and the passes out of them and what that looked like, and basically see if Tommy can facilitate offense. It's bringing 2 to the ball, and that's everything we're about on the offensive side. So can you make the right decisions? Can you read the things that you need to see in what the defense does? And I think he had 1 turnover, but he does it at a pretty high level, and then Morez can just, you know, power through some people.
It's the last one here from Scott.
Will kind of talked about how just being in a game like this, it was important to kind of keep fighting. even though, you know, the lead was growing all the time. Just what is it about this team where maybe they didn't get complacent and still pushed?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we talked about at halftime. It's our standard. And it's the, you know the thrill of an all-out effort. And that all-out effort takes 40 minutes. It's not a 20-minute thing. It's not a do it when it's hard. It's do it and play to our standard. You know, so it gets to be about playing against us and our execution and our intensity. And you know, when we can do that, then this team has a chance to be really special. And so it was most of our halftime talk. And I would be very remiss. It was great to see Marcus Damask back in the State Farm Center tonight. And you know, I tried to squeeze a uniform out on him, but man, what a great young man and a great representative of our university. And it was great to see him back.